biggest developer tech stories recently has been Tailwind CSS shocking layoffs. Tailwind Labs publicly confirmed that they had to let go 75% of their engineering team. That's 3 out of 4 engineers gone. And what triggered this revelation? Well, a simple GitHub pull request, where a community member proposed adding an LLM TXT file to help large language models to consume Tailwind's documentation more easily. In response, founders shared that the layoffs were a direct consequence of AI impact to the business, and making docs easier for AI would only make the revenue situation even worse. So how does a project that's more popular than ever suddenly lose money? The key is how the Tailwind actually makes money. The framework itself is free and it's extremely popular, but the company generated revenue from documentation visits where developers would discover and purchase premium add-ons like UI components, libraries, and templates. With AI tools like Copilot and Claude now answering Tailwind's questions directly inside the editor, developers no longer visit the documentation and therefore don't discover paid products. No browser, no docs, no conversion to paid user. That has led to a 30% drop in traffic and nearly 80% decline in revenue, a fatal hit to the business model. The situation shows the paradox of the AI era. AI hasn't made Tailwind less useful, actually opposite, it has expanded its reach, but it has replaced how developers interact with the product. Prompt windows, idea assistants have supplemented the web interface, and prompt windows don't show and advertise paid products. Even search engines like Google now often show summaries of AI-generated answers about the link clicks, giving no incentive for users to visit the source material at all, which is great for users but terrible for creators. This change hurts any business that depends on traffic as its gateway to monetization. The good news is that big tech companies actually stepped in to sponsor them and showing that they care. I honestly hope that Tailwind survives. It's one of the cleanest, most polished dev tools out there. Let's hope that they will pull through. Tailwind's situation spread quickly through open source communities. As a warning shot, open source projects have long faced sustainability challenges. They're free to use, but they require human effort, time, and attention. While meanwhile, enterprise companies profit from these tools without always contributing back. Now with AI consuming documentation, articles, code without routing the traffic back to the source, many maintainers are reconsidering how their projects are shared and supported. Some are slowing down the contributions or even pausing development, tightening licenses, and even discussing about technical solutions like paid AI crawling access license with no AI training clauses. But let's be real, if enforcement didn't work the first time, why would magically it work now? I'm still shocked how AI companies got away with it. Licenses got ignored, authors weren't compensated, consent didn't matter, and industry just accepted. And yes, we could argue at the end we got extremely powerful tools out of it. But now we are facing more and more consequences of that decision. But anyway, the bottom line is that projects that depend on traffic and discoverability need to rethink how they create sustainable revenue. Because traffic as an asset might be actually dying. And it's not just open source. The Stack Overflow, the Holy Land, the place where we all learned, the site that taught us how to center a div and also how to get roasted for asking that, is collapsing. Activity is now at levels not seen since early days. Over the last few years, especially after the launch of tools like ChatGPT, the number of questions asked for Stack Overflow has plummeted down. It wouldn't be fair to blame AI alone. Stack Overflow has faced long-standing challenges. Its toxic culture, brutal moderation, newbies getting bullied out of the platform, and almost no modernization over the years. We all remember asking something simple and getting emotionally destroyed. Well, AI chat feels different. There is no judgment, no downvotes, no passive-aggressive comments. Instead of Googling and landing on Stack Overflow, scrolling and finding the answer, now it's much easier. We just ask and get it done. Which is a very similar story as Tailwind, but with only one difference, that Stack Overflow was actively used to train these models, and they are replacing it. While Stack Overflow's business isn't primarily tied to ad revenue from public traffic, instead the company earns revenue from different solutions that they propose. But this news is leaving some sort of sadness and emptiness inside me, because with all its flaws, culturally we potentially are witnessing the end of era of community-driven public knowledge, where developers could come, share, and build answers together online. And actually, I'm not even sure if we will see something similar in future. I guess we need to enjoy it while it lasts. Now let's look inside the AI industry itself, where tension is building between AI providers and the developers. No doubt that Claude from Anthropic has become most used tool for coding. The Opus model is providing stable results, the approaches with skills and sub-agents are being preferred by the users, and the CLI experience is just beautiful. Even I have been actually using it more lately, and honestly, it's good, like scary good. However, some third-party tools were reportedly accessing Claude's more powerful code models without proper API usage or billing, efficiently routing high-volume compute through cheaper endpoints. And of course, in response, Anthropic began blocking these access methods and cutting off certain integrations. And this made developers split into the two camps. Some understand that Anthropic needs to protect their business and its infrastructure. Others feel frustrated waking up to and seeing that their workflow is being ruined by overnight change by the API that they are actually paying for. But this situation highlights a broader reality. By outsourcing core development workflows like coding, planning, testing to third-party AI services, it creates a new vendor lock-in risk. And especially we need to be careful with these today's tools that can disappear or change terms overnight, disrupting teams and their productivity. Well, as a result, many developers are reconsidering their tooling and exploring more model-agnostic tools like OpenCode that can quickly switch providers, not just sticking to current best model on the market. But it also got hit by this Anthropic change. While many developers publicly speak about declining the subscription, I don't believe that the popularity of Anthropic that there will be any impact to its business. The current demand is just insane, just looking how fast OpenCode Black got sold out. But I'm sure that it will push back larger players, that they will build their own in-house models with privacy first and self-hosted solutions. As for startups, they will just keep jumping around the tools. And all those stories connect the same root problem. AI is replacing the way we interact with our web and our tooling. Clicks, pages, views, ads, SEO, that world might be dying besides the great projects that it has produced. Well, AI is amazing, but it's also eating its parents. I think we will see more stories like Stack Overflow and Tailwind soon. So the real question is, could we build a future where AI is part of this open web, giving back to the communities it trained for? Or we are speedrunning to the collapse of the open web and going to the world where everything is closed and consumption based? What do you think? Leave that down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, your support helps a lot. And let's be more optimistic and look into a bright future. But until then, keep coding, and I see you next time.